Good morning, and a heartfelt welcome to Emerson, to each of you. My name is Beth Klein, and I'm honored to co-officiate our service this morning as Emerson's Director of Religious Education. A special welcome to those who may be joining our online service for the first time. We hope you're nourished in heart and mind by our service today. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we welcome a wide variety of theological and spiritual beliefs. We honor the inherent worth and dignity of each and every person. You are welcome here. All are warmly invited to join us for what we call our second hour activities following the service, beginning at 11:15. They're held in Zoom meeting rooms. Links are available in the order of service. There are engaging opportunities for children, youth, and adults. This is a great time to explore meaningful topics and get to know other members of our community. Please also refer to the order of service for upcoming activities and announcements. In Unitarian Universalist congregations, when a youth has been active in religious education classes and congregational life and reaches the age 18 or graduates from high school, we celebrate this event as a rite of passage. Most UU congregations celebrate with special ceremonies like ours today called bridging rituals, and they symbolically link the transition from youth to young adult. This morning, we're recognizing 3 new graduates who've been involved in Emerson's religious ed ministry and the life of the congregation since they were very young children and middle schoolers. The length of their involvement here at our congregation means that they have been active Unitarian Universalists longer than about half of the adults enjoying the service today. As we hear this morning, they each have their unique understanding and appreciation for how Unitarian Universalism and their experiences here at Emerson Congregation have helped shape them as young adults on their way to crossing Emerson's ceremonial wooden bridge. We are so glad that you're here joining us today to honor these 3 youth and to take part in this Emerson ritual. Graduating seniors, we know this is not how many of you imagined your bridging ceremony to unfold, and I thank you for your flexibility and the work that you've done to be able to share this sacred time with the entire Emerson community. To each person watching this morning, I say, welcome to Emerson. Come, come, whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your image of the sacred. May you find here room for your spirit, and in this people, a community. We are so glad that you're here. Natalie, would you like to light our sanctuary chalice, please?
Jamie Dorner from First Parish UU Congregation in Bedford, Massachusetts, wrote today's chalice lighting. As we light this chalice, we take those little sparks glowing within all of us and combine them to create this flame.
Casey, Ava, and Nicole, as we light Emerson's sanctuary chalice to begin our worship service, I invite each of you to now light your special handmade chalice from the greater fire of the community's chalice. Graduates, accept these new chalices as part of the gifts that Emerson UU congregation sends with you on your life and faith journeys ahead. These chalices are made from clay and water. They are shaped by the skilled hands of an Emerson artisan, then fired in flames to bring out the beauty and strength of those joined parts. They hold the light of hope for each of you in the future. Let these chalices burn bright with caring and love today as we gather together. Please join me in singing our first hymn this morning, Come Sing a Song With Me, hymn number 346, and it was selected by Ava, one of our senior grads, as one of her favorites. The words are projected now on your screen.
Good morning, everyone.
I have a story for all ages. I invite the young and the young in heart to please join me for a story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who got caught outside in a rainstorm. She ran into the nearest store to escape the storm. Once inside, the little girl looked at all of the items in the store. Soon, the shopkeeper appeared. The shopkeeper was the oldest woman the little girl had ever seen. The shopkeeper's hair was as white as snow, and her face was all wrinkly. The shopkeeper frightened the little girl a little bit. "Young woman," the shopkeeper said, "can I help you?" The little girl pointed at the window, too afraid to speak. "Oh," said the shopkeeper, "you came in here to escape the storm, didn't you?" The little girl nodded. "Well," said the shopkeeper, "how about you stay in here with me and wait out the storm? We have a nice sturdy roof over our heads, and we'll be able to stay safe and dry." The little girl appreciated the shopkeeper's offer, but she told the shopkeeper she really had to get going and find her family. Said the shopkeeper. "Well, at least take this." And do you know what the shopkeeper was holding? Why, an umbrella, of course. The little girl smiled and took the umbrella. The shopkeeper told her, "I don't know why it is raining, but I do know that you can stay dry under this portable sanctuary." The little girl smiled, but then she paused. "I don't have any money." "That's okay," the shopkeeper said, "as long as you remember to give this umbrella to someone else if they are in need of a little sanctuary." The little girl nodded and went on her way. As the little girl walked down the street in the rain, she spotted a man in a suit. The man was holding a newspaper over his head, but as the heavy rain continued to fall, the newspaper began to break apart. The little girl ran over to the man and held her umbrella high over both their heads. "Thank you," said the man. Remembering the words of the shopkeeper, the little girl replied, "I don't know why it's raining, but I do know that we can keep dry under this portable sanctuary." The man nodded. He was wearing a suit because he was on his way to a job interview. The man had been without work for a long time, and he was desperate to get a job. He was walking because he couldn't afford a car. And when it had started to rain, he had cursed his luck. He knew that he would show up to his job interview soaked, and that would make a bad first impression. Suddenly, the little girl spotted her family across the street in a nearby store. "Here," she said, "keep the umbrella. I see my family." "Oh no," said the man, "I couldn't." "Yes, I insist," the little girl said, "as long as you remember to give the umbrella to someone else if they are in need of a sanctuary." The man nodded and continued on his way to the job interview. Sure enough, the man got the job, and soon he was able to afford to buy a few umbrellas of his own. Whenever the man had to go somewhere and it was raining, not only would he bring the umbrella that the little girl had given him, but a few other umbrellas as well. And whenever he saw someone stuck out in the rain without an umbrella, he would hand them one and say, "I don't know why it is raining, but I do know that you can keep dry under this portable sanctuary." Soon, everyone in the town had an umbrella, and whenever a townsperson saw someone stuck in the rain without an umbrella, they would hand them one and say, "I don't know why it is raining, but I do know that you can stay dry under this portable sanctuary." I think that this story is a beautiful example of community, and it reminds me of Emerson. Like the little girl with her umbrella, I encourage the graduating seniors to take the peace and love that has been shown to them here at Emerson and give them to others in need of a little sanctuary. Now, I invite you to join with me in singing the song of dedication.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with each other. Thus do we promise to each other.
Good morning, and I invite you now into a time of meditation. This is our time in the service that's reserved just for you. And I invite you to find some place that feels comfortable, a place that you feel safe, that you can just take a few breaths. I'll invite you to close your eyes, perhaps even to just look down with soft eyes, so that your focus can become inside. And the breath is a wonderful tool to help bring that focus inside. So take a breath in, follow the act of the inhale, and then notice how the inhale transitions and crosses over to an exhale. And then the urge for inhalation comes and we inhale once again. I offer these words of meditation this morning from the prophet Khalil Gibran's work. This one titled, Our Children. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, cannot even in your dreams attend. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backwards, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and bends you with might, that the arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. Allowing those words to settle inside you, I invite you into a moment of silence. May these words carry you through this day and through these transitions that many are making this time in their life. As you are ready, feel free to open your eyes.
What's your story? What's your plan? Where you going to? Where do you stand? In this moment, take a chance. Feel the light shine down. Live your life out loud. You can dance. Hear the laughter in the air. Let your voice be heard if you dare. Take the high road to your dreams. Let the world see how life could be right now. Come with me. One step towards the edge. What will happen next? Every moment tells the story of our lives. What will happen if we try? Could we spread our wings and learn to fly? And together we could see that the world is ours. We can shine like stars. We can dream on. We can dream on. We can dream on. We can dream.
When my youngest daughter was 5 and even into 6 years old, she used to tell me that she was going to live with me forever. She said these words often and with so much conviction. I could tell that from her vantage point at that moment, she was convinced of the truth of them. And then a few years later, I remember the day she announced to me that maybe, just maybe, she would move next door one day. I could see the wheels turning in her brain. She was sorting out how to maintain that closeness and all the wonderfulness of living with Mommy and Daddy, while also addressing this new awakening I could tell was emerging from her, an awakening that was calling her to experience new things and to move onward in her life. Well, my little girl is now 24 years old, and she no longer lives in my house or even next door. As a matter of fact, she lives a 16-and-a-half-hour drive away. And I tease her once in a while, reminding her of her childhood declaration in an effort to try to get her to move to Georgia. And we both laugh when I do, because we know I'm teasing. We know that that bridge for her, as well as for her older sister, has already been crossed. And though I stand on this side, missing the little girls that they both were, I also stand and revel as I wait for the stories of what these adventures have brought them, the adventure of making that crossing over that bridge. Now the truth is, as you may have already discovered in life, dear seniors, crossing bridges is not optional in life. Whether we want to or not, life forces us, actually it compels us again and again to venture out of our comfort zones, to venture into areas that maybe previously we thought we would not go. And whether we are sure-footed at those times or a little nervous in our movements, we are perpetually called across these bridges and down paths whose ends we cannot see from our vantage point of the beginning, but whose vistas, as we cross those bridges and as we have those new experiences, new vistas will be opened up to us, and those are well worth the journey. I'm sure you have already made many bridge crossings in your life so far. Crossing the bridge to go to school for the first time, or perhaps that bridge crossing you took the first time you had a sleepover at a friend's house away from your family. There was the bridge you crossed over when you got your driver's license and were out on the road. And there's the bridge that perhaps you've crossed over of your first love, or maybe even your first heartbreak. Each of these transitions brought you something you had not previously had. And each required that you leave something behind, for it seems that we cannot both be on one side of the bridge and the other at the same time. As high school seniors, you most likely have already made some plans for what's next in your life. And I'm sure that in the last few months, this question of what's next for you has been asked of you many, many times. And I imagine that those plans, whatever they are, contain for you both a breath of enthusiasm, of hopeful excitement, as well as maybe even a tinge of fearful apprehension. The good news is that these two things, this hopeful excitement and this little bit of fearful apprehension, they often travel together. And they usually foretell the start of an amazing adventure. Now, although the adventure you are about to embark on is uniquely yours, we are here today to remind you that you do not travel alone, truly. The literal bridge you will cross today in this ritual, symbolizing your transition from youth to young adulthood, it may look like it was made of wood, but it's not. The bridge you're going to cross today, dear seniors, has in fact been many, many years in the making. It has been crafted by the love and dedication of the many teachers, advisors, classroom assistants, OWL leaders, all who generously gave of their time and their talents and their energy to you because they truly care. And because they too remember their own crossing, their own bridges they crossed into adulthood. And they wanted to help you to ensure that your crossing was inspired, was enlightening, and was safe. The bridge you will cross today, dear seniors, was built of many, many chalice lightings. It was built from sermons you've heard, conversations you've had. It's built from student lock-ins, chili cook-offs, and youth cons. It was built from your struggles to understand your expanding mind, to understand the opening and closings of your heart, and to understand the complexity of this ever-changing body. The bridge you will cross today was built upon the Unitarian Universalist 7 principles and by your very own faith explorations over these years. It was built from your struggles to live the values expressed in this congregation out into the world, especially when the world seems so defiantly set against embracing them at times. The bridge you will cross today was built from the love and the kindness of your family and your peers, from the youth that have crossed before you, and the ones who will watch you today, knowing that one year they too will be able to cross this bridge. The bridge you cross today was built from the care of the many ministers you may have known, from the congregational staff, and from a very loving and caring director of religious education, Beth Klein. This bridge was built by the many congregants who joined you in worship over the years, who told stories, who shared a laugh. And though you may not be aware of it, they reveled in watching as you grew, year after year. Dear seniors, the bridge you will cross today was built for you. The transition we mark today by the crossing of this bridge is just one moment in your journey, in your spiritual lifetime. You may not know exactly where this bridge will take you, but I promise that the vistas will be worth the journey. And I also promise on behalf of this entire congregation that we will be here awaiting the glorious tales of your adventures. Before our seniors take these next steps on their journey from youth to young adulthood, it's tradition for them to address the congregation. So I welcome them each now, introduced by one of their senior youth advisors. I begin with Ann Kennedy.
My name is Ann Kennedy, and I joined Emerson Senior Youth RE teaching team 3 years ago after being a student of the RE program when I was in middle and high school. It's my pleasure to introduce Ava Tompkins to you today, one of our graduating seniors who has been a part of the Emerson family since 2013. Ava is graduating from Pope High School as a Pope Greyhound, go Pope, and in the fall she'll become a Scottie at Agnes Scott College to start a dual degree program in computer engineering. Ava has been involved in school chorus programs for the last 8 years in both middle and high school, along with English and French honor societies at Pope. She's also been an active student leader in the Gay Straight Alliance youth group here at Emerson. In her spare time, Ava enjoys writing and singing. Ava has always been a source of entertainment before and after class. If you need to know about a meme, she's your go-to person. But more than that, she's a shining light that has always had something thoughtful and provocative to say during our senior youth discussions. Her and her beautiful voice will be a fantastic addition to the Scottie community and the Emerson young adult crowd. Ava's proud family includes her mom, Amy, dad, Jeff, and siblings M, Connor, and Elle. Please join me in welcoming Ava to our pulpit to share her bridging reflection.
When I first came back to Emerson, it was 12-year-old me against the world. My transition from elementary to middle school was jarring. Middle school in general was jarring. It's a long story. So Emerson became this place where I wasn't alone, where once a week I could get away from everything. And in those late middle school years, Nicole, Casey, and I became our little trio. And while I didn't have anybody anywhere else, I had them here at Emerson. And even after everything that went down freshman year, they were still here for me. And that's part of my answer. I've made friends here who I intend to keep in my life for as long as I possibly can. It's not all of it, though. Our advisors, our classmates, and just the congregation in general provided me with an extremely important lesson without even knowing it. I started out middle school as the quiet girl. And I had this idea in my head that whenever I decided to come out of my shell, I had to impress everybody with it. If I wasn't perfect when the time came, What was the point? And so I stayed the quiet girl for a long time. In my junior year at Emerson, a whole flood of kids came into senior youth when before it was mostly just me and my close friends. I got nervous because I thought I wouldn't be able to express myself in the same way I used to. But I decided to push through instead. Now, I'm sure that most of the people who have interacted with me have at least one story where I just seem like a complete idiot. And what else am I taking into the world? That's okay. The community at Emerson has seen me at points where I wasn't at my best, but in the face of everything else I am, what does it matter? I've learned that more often than not, people don't see you just for your imperfections, and if they do, they aren't worth your time. I put so much effort into playing it safe. I was so afraid to be hated for who I am, but people can't love you for who you are that way either. Emerson taught me a lot knowledge-wise and gave me a lot of good memories, but it also gave me the support I needed to overcome one of my greatest fears. When I go to college and I get the chance to start over, I can tell them that this is who I am. Take it or leave it.
Thanks, Ann and Ava. I'm Nikki Fambro, and I served my first year of RE volunteering with our senior youth religious ed class this year. It's my pleasure to introduce senior graduate Nicole this morning. Nicole joined Emerson's junior youth Sunday school class when she was a student in middle school and was active for her 4 years at Sprayberry High School. She'll be laying down her insect wings as a Sprayberry yellow jacket and sprouting feathered ones when she begins Kennesaw State University this fall as a KSU owl. Nicole has been actively involved in the Senior High Gay Straight Alliance youth group here at Emerson for the past 4 years and loves collecting and examining natural gemstones and other interesting rock samples, in addition to having a passion for drawing cartoon characters, all in her spare time. Nicole is very intelligent and has a wonderfully unique way of seeing the world and expressing herself. I have enjoyed experiencing her quick wit and sense of humor these past few months during our virtual RE classes. Nicole's proud family includes Mom Shelley, Dad David, and brother Matthew. Nicole, please share your bridging reflection with us.
Hi, my name is Nicole. It feels both very long and not very long at all ago that I had first joined the junior youth program here at Emerson. In that same strain, it is hard for me to tell if I've learned a lot or not much at all through it. This may be mostly due to the fact that I am very forgetful as to where I retain my information in life from. Besides that point, I think I have at least learned something from Emerson's youth program in my time here. What exactly that might be, well, again, I'm not sure. Maybe it's that no matter who or what I am, there will always be a place out there, whether physical or intangible, that will accept me as one of their own. Maybe it's that I'm never really as alone as it might seem when times are tough. Maybe it's that I kind of like dating girls a bit more than I like dating guys. I'm not sure. But I have learned, and I've grown. And through all this time, Emerson has been a part of my life through it all, good or bad. In the same strain of forgetfulness, I don't quite remember what's supposed to happen after this for me. Whatever it is, though, I hope I can carry whatever it is in my heart that I have learned from this place and use it to grow to new heights for both my own good and others. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. Good morning. My name is Noel Garwick, and I've had the pleasure of teaching senior youth religious ed here at Emerson for the past 3 years. For our last senior graduate reflection this morning, I welcome senior grad Casey Jo Kay. Casey's been part of Emerson's UU congregation since her parents became members in 2006, when Casey was just 4 years old. Casey graduated from Joseph A. Wheeler High School as a Wheeler Wildcat this spring and continues their education at the University of Georgia as a freshman Bulldog in Athens this fall. Casey has been involved in National Honor Society and National Art Honor Society, as well as the Animation Club at Wheeler High School. Her scholastic achievements have been recognized on the Principal Honor Roll every semester for all 4 years of high school. Quite an achievement. Casey loves to draw, create animated videos, sew costumes, read, and participate in Emerson's Gay Straight Alliance group. This is the part where I stop reading from a script to give you some mad props, as the kids say. You know what I'm talking about. It has been a joy to have you in Senior Youth RV. You've always asked thoughtful questions and shared a sincere perspective. I definitely appreciate the humor that you brought to discussions and how you have gone out of your way to always make everyone feel valued and welcome. You have always also shown a great deal of maturity in your contributions to each year's Senior Youth Service. Welcome to the congregation.
Good morning, Emerson. I'm Casey Jo Kay. I've been watching Senior Class Bridge since I was about 4 years old, so it's incredibly exciting to finally get my turn up here. The traditional bridging prompt is, how will I take the UU messages I learned at Emerson out into the world? There isn't a simple answer to this question, because so much of who I am and how I think was cultivated by Unitarian Universalist ideas. When I have conflicts with others, I remind myself of our first red principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And I try to resolve it with that idea of respect for their perspective and personhood in mind. And as I continue to meet new people and form new relationships, I'll hold on to that compassion as best I can, whatever the situation. Another message I learned from Emerson was more experiential rather than an explicit teaching. I was given a huge amount of opportunities to speak my mind, from regular class discussions to more structured moments, like the youth services and this bridging. It made me more confident in talking about my beliefs, and hopefully I can continue to hold and build that confidence in speaking out about what I believe is right when I see hurt in the world. But most importantly, Emerson has taught me to yearn to learn, our yellow principle. To me, this principle is not only about a lifelong journey of self-motivated education, but also about finding the ability to replace your old ideas with new, even if that means admitting what you thought you knew wasn't so right all along. Even when I fail to be 100% compassionate or confident at all times, and I know I will because that's what it is to be human, I think I'll be okay if I stay open-minded and yearn to learn from the situation instead of beating myself down by the failure. Leaving Emerson and taking these messages out into the world shouldn't be a free pass for me to stagnate and say, hey, I'm an adult now, and everything I've learned heretofore is the complete and unchangeable right way of being. I still have a lot to learn, too much of which I don't even know I don't know yet, but I'm excited rather than intimidated by that long and winding road ahead of me, picking up all the bits of what is true and meaningful to me along the way. I can't thank this community enough for helping guide me into becoming the person I am today. Emerson will always have its own special rainbow-colored corner in my heart, and I wouldn't be myself without it.
Casey, Nicole, and Ava, you have already accomplished so much in your lives and faced many challenges along the way. In the coming years, you will find new freedoms and new responsibilities. You will face many important decisions. Decisions about relationships, decisions about life goals, ethical decisions that will reflect your values as a person. And you will be called to take positions and speak out for justice as an adult. I hope that your time in our religious education ministry and as Emerson, as part of this congregation, have served you well as you encounter more and more of the richness and challenges in life ahead. Enjoy your new freedom and be ever mindful of the responsibilities you now hold. I am delighted that Emerson has been such an important and big part of your journey to this point. Please know that you have people here who care deeply about you, who wish the very best for you, and who, as friends, are available to you. May you find deep connections in life. May you find increased meaning in life's journey. And may you find that which makes you come fully, fully alive. And may you find the balance in life, not forgetting your spiritual self that will sustain you as you enter into adulthood and into the adult world that will call you again and again into external action that will be called to transform and sustain it. We know of your many gifts and talents, but more importantly, we appreciate who you are as people and the young person you have become. I invite you to cross the bridge from youth to young adulthood at this time. The young adults in our congregation have the responsibility of welcoming these bridgers into young adult life here at Emerson. I invite all of our young adults out there, ages 18 to 35, to type some words of welcome in the chat screen if that is available to you. Let Ava and Nicole and Casey know that you welcome them into this new phase of their lives. Please join me in our final hymn today before we extinguish our chalices. This hymn is Casey's very favorite. Let It Be a Dance, We Do, number 311 in your hymnal.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
The vision of this congregation is to be a beacon of peace, justice, and love. The vision is embodied here, not just in words, but in each one of you, by your commitment of time, energy, intention, and resources. Together, we make a community. We hope you will share the joy and responsibility of being stewards to this vision through a monetary contribution to the congregation. Please note the methods of giving are shown on the screen. And we thank you for sharing in the stewardship of this vision.
Please read with me the words written in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
A favorite poem of mine is by the French poet Guillaume Apollinaire, who lived from 1880 to 1918, and it goes like this. "Come to the edge," he said. "We can't, we're afraid," they responded. "Come to the edge," he said. "We can't, we'll fall," they responded. "Come to the edge," he said. And so they came, and he gently pushed them, and they flew. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith frequently asks us to come to the edge. As we grow, we all face challenges that will make us afraid to go forward or afraid to take a stand. Our service today celebrates the soaring future Ava, Nicole, and Casey have before them. We invite them to fly with our blessings, and we rejoice in it. May they have wings to fly and strong roots to our UU faith, their families, their friends, and our congregation to hold them close, always. Graduates, know that we love you. We are proud of you, and as a bird, we release you into the world. Our service is concluded. Go in peace.